Good morning, everyone. I was out of town earlier this week for work, and then the next 2 days I was just recovering, I guess you could say. Just being a bum. I was tired. It's time for me to get back into this. I've been falling short on the word I had set for myself. So today I'm going to try to read a couple chapters, 32 and 33. No, sorry, I already read it at 32. 33 and 34. And maybe even 35. But we'll see. We will see. Let's get right into this. I'm in Genesis chapter 33. It says Jacob meets Esau, which is great because if you remember, Jacob essentially stole Esau's birthright. So let's get into this. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two female servants. He put the female servants and their children in front. Oh my gosh. Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother, but Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw around his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children and said, "Who are these with you?" he asked. Jacob answered, "These are my children. God has graciously given. These are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the female servants and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. So Esau's not as mad as I thought he would be, but I could have sworn the last time we had caught up with Esau, he intended to harm, potentially kill Jacob. So this is kind of interesting here. It says, Esau asked, "What is the meaning of all these flocks and herds I met? To find favor in your eyes, my lord," he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have to yourself, for yourself." "No, please," said Jacob. "I have found favor in your eyes. Accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the present that was brought for you. For God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need." And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. Then Esau said, "Let us be on our way, and I'll accompany you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, and I must care for the ewes and the cows and that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of his servant, while I move along slowly at the pace of the flocks and the herds before me, and place the children and the pace of the children until I come to the Lord in Seir." Esau said, "Then leave me some of my men. Then let me leave some of my men with you." "But why do that?" Jacob asked. "Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord." So that day Esau started his way back to Seir. Jacob, however, went to Succoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succoth. After Jacob came from Padan Aram, he arrived safely in the city of Shechem in Canaan, and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. There he set up an altar and called it El Eloho Israel. So, excellent. All right. Not what I expected. I kind of expected a little bit more back and forth between Jacob and Esau, but it's kind of anticlimactic, to be honest with you. Next is called Dinah, Dinah, and the Shechemites, Shechemites, Emitis. Wow, I am terrible. Schechemites. There we go. Now, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, had born to Jacob, went out to visit the women in the land. When Citron, son of Hamor, the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and raped her. Oh. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob, but he loved the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. And Citron said to his father Hamor, "Get me this girl as my wife." But when Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the fields with his livestock, so he did nothing about it until they came home. Yeah, it's about to get intense. Holy crap. I did not expect that. Then Shechem's father Hamor went out to talk with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's son had come in from the fields. As soon as they heard what had happened, they were shocked and furious because Shechem had done an outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife. Intermarry with us. Give us your daughters and take our daughters for yourselves. You can settle among us. The land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it." Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask. Make the price for the bride and the gift I am to bring as great as you like. I'll pay whatever you ask me. Only give the young woman. Give me the young woman as a wife." So you assault her, then come to the dad and say, "Hey, let me have her. Let me have her as my wife." That's some dark stuff, to be honest with you. Some very, very dark stuff. Because their sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's sons replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to him, "We can't do such a thing. We can't give our sister to a man who is not circumcised. That would be a disgrace to us. We will enter into an agreement with you on one condition only, that you will become like us by circumcising all your males. Then we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We'll settle among you and become one people with you. But you will not. But if you will not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go." Should have took your sister and go from the first place, because this guy sucks. Okay. Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and the sons of Shechem, the young man who was the most honored of all his father's family. Lost no time in doing what they said because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the gate of their city to speak with the men of their city. "These men are friendly toward us," they said. "Let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters and they can marry ours. But the men will agree to live with us as one people only on the condition that our males be circumcised as they themselves are. Won't their livestock, their property, and all other animals become ours? So let us agree to their terms, and they will settle among us." So, I don't know. That's a pretty big ask to be a grown man and have a circumcision done, especially back in this time where it probably wasn't as sanitary. Just, cut off that foreskin. That's crazy behavior. All right. All the men who went out to the city gate agreed with Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male in the city was circumcised. That's crazy. That's crazy behavior. Okay. 3 days later, while all of them were still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and attacked the unsuspecting city, killing every male, They put Hamor and his son Shechem to the sword and took Dinah from Shechem's house and left. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where their sister had been defiled. They seized their flocks and herds and donkeys and everything else of theirs in the city and out in the fields. They carried off all their wealth and all their women and children, taking as plunder everything in the houses. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the Canaanites and Perizzites, the people living in the land. We are few in number, and if they join forces against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed." But they replied, "Should he have treated our sister like a prostitute?" Hey, facts. Facts. This guy comes in, takes this woman, assaults her, goes to the family, says, "I want her. Tell me what I can do." They stage I don't want to say a coup because they weren't working for him, but they stage a situation where they can one-up him. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You can't be an assaulter and make me feel bad for you. So I'm actually on the son's side here. Let's go into chapter 35 too. It says Jacob returns to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, Go up to Bethel and settle there, and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods you have with you, and purify yourself and change your clothes. Then come, let's go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who has answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me wherever I have gone." So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak at Shechem. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell on the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people who came with him came to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died and was buried under the oak beside Bethel, so it was named Allon Bakuth. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. And God said to him, "I am your God Almighty. Be fruitful and increase in number. A nation and a community of nations will come from you, and kings will be among your descendants. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I also give to you. And I will give this land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him at that place where he had talked to him. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked to him, and he poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had talked to him Bethel. Now, still same chapter. Not. This isn't very exciting, to be honest. This is just, I don't know, order of events. So, death of Rachel and Isaac. Then they moved on from Bethel. While they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. And as she was having great difficulty in childbirth, the midwife said to her, "Don't despair, for you have another son." As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni, but his father named him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Over the tomb, Jacob set up a pillar, and to this day that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. I wonder if it's still there. I doubt it. Israel moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine Bilhah, and Israel heard of it. Jacob had 12 sons, the sons of Leah. Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Rachel's servant Bilhah, Dan and Naphtali. The son of Leah's servant Zilpah, Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. Jacob had come home to his father Isaac in Mamre near Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac stayed. Isaac had lived 180 years, and he breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people, old and full of years, and his son Esau and Jacob buried him. So that is where I'm going to call it. So that finishes chapter 33. Next will be chapter 34, that chapter finished chapter 35. Next will be chapter 36, Esau's descendants. Looks like a pretty short one, but we'll just wait it out. We will just wait it out, and we'll read this later. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I'm going to get back onto this, my daily read-throughs, or as much as I possibly can. I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace out.